Good morning. Welcome to the Leavenworth County Commission. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. We'll do an opening prayer, and it is Commissioner Reed's day.
Thank you. I would just like a moment of silent prayer, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Roll call today with Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Mr. Culberson.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
I'm here. And Commissioner Dove. All commissioners are accounted for, and we welcome you this morning to the meeting. The next thing is public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who has some public comment to offer? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, we'll move on to administrative business. Nothing, commissioners.
I was just glad to see the Leavenworth City Planning Commission's decision on Course Civic, and I'm looking forward to see where that goes with the commissioners.
Very good.
Thank you.
Mr. Culberson?
I don't have anything to.
I don't mind.
I just had a couple items. One of the things I want to continue to draw attention to is the fact that currently we do not have any specific regulations in effect for Leavenworth County dealing with data centers. And it would be my concern that if we proceed down the path of moving towards data centers coming into the county, that it would be important that each one be treated equally and each application be treated in the same manner. And so I think it's important that we develop those regulations. And my personal view is that we should have a moratorium on data centers until we have those regulations in place. I'd be interested to hear what the other commissioners think, but I just wanted to bring that up in administrative business, that is a live issue in our county. So that being said, and we have no more...
Fran,
our county clerk.
I just have an RBA for you this morning. I'm going to escalate it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
in reference to what you were just speaking about as a moratorium for the data centers, wouldn't that need to be a vote on something of that issue if we wanted to?
Yes, we would have to have a vote. We'd have to get on the agenda and have a discussion of it.
Okay. Yesterday I had the opportunity to go to Topeka to visit with some individuals who have a lot more data and information, and I would request that we seek a lot more information about these data centers and what we could and could not get before we step into that realm of putting together a moratorium with the things that we do not know. We have no evidence of what we know, what we do not know about this situation, and I would expect the commission to look at other experts, because I don't know of anyone on this board that is an expert on this, or anyone in the audience. And if they did, then let's come forward and let's talk. Let's have a conversation about it. From the information that I received yesterday, and the conversation from some experts who were flown in by a nonprofit that I'm not getting their name, remembering that name. Yesterday, I think it would be incumbent upon ourselves to do that first before we jump into putting a moratorium on something that we have no idea of.
Well, my purpose for the moratorium wasn't to necessarily, take a position on having the data center or not, but around the country there's model regulations and resolutions that address and put guidelines on the data centers, and my view is that we should probably have regulations in place before we move ahead with approvals or consideration, and that's all I would say is that if we put the moratorium on and then we wait until we get the regulations in place and then we proceed. It's not about saying yes or no. It's about saying we need to have regulations in place, and in different jurisdictions across the country, they have different regulations.
Yes, they do, Mr. Chairman. However, I think that getting the information before we proceed with something on this board, that we should get more information before we proceed with a moratorium on anything, because we don't have the data to support what you're asking.
Well, moratorium just says that until we have regulations in place, we don't move ahead. If right now, if we move ahead, we have no regulations or guidelines in place at all for Leavenworth County.
So you're saying we should move ahead for lack of information?
No, I'm saying that we should get the information. I'm agreeing with you on getting the information.
Okay.
I'm just saying that we have a deliberative process. We put a hold on it until we have our regulations in place, and then we move forward. Go ahead.
Michael, one point I agree with. I totally agree with Willie, though. I think you need the information first so we can make a good discussion. I'm not saying I support them or don't support them, but I'd like to have more information. What I will say, though, if anybody will do their homework on this, and you don't do it because of this reason, but these data centers have so much property tax, they give back to the county. In the other jurisdiction, that's something that you've got to at least weigh. That doesn't mean we want to put something at risk, but I think what I think you guys are saying something similar, except I don't believe in a moratorium, but I do believe we need to start now getting the information that you're talking about.
Would you be favorable to take the word moratorium off the table? Would you be open to having a work session to begin looking at different model regulations across the country that are currently in effect and getting more information?
Oh, absolutely, Mr. Chairman. The information that I received yesterday from these individuals had to do with individual cities that are highly populated and counties and areas that were not. And those regulations would be something that would actually fit that particular city, county government according to the population. So I think that we should have a work session in order to give the citizens of Leavenworth County the opportunity to have the best information available in order to make a decision.
So, Mark, can we schedule a work session on that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who we would bring in for that and how we would get them here, because obviously, as Commissioner Dove said, nobody in this room is probably an expert on the matter, so we'd want to find somebody who is. And also, we have zoning in place in the county. We're not an unzoned county, so any kind of development like that would have to go through a process. They couldn't just come in and decide to build one without our approval. So I think that, the moratorium aspect of it, that without going through our process, they can't build. So there's your, if you need more data, we'll get the data. But I'll have to do some research, but we can schedule a work session.
Okay, we'll plan on a work session then. So, all right, that's all I have. We're done with administrative business. So, motion on the consent.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion is second to accept the consent agenda as presented. Voting, Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
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 Okay, formal board action. Consider a motion to accept a quote from Electric Systems and Software to upgrade election tabulating and reporting equipment in the amount of $254,245.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Good morning.
This is an update to our current equipment. It is not, the only thing, we are purchasing a new computer, but other than that, it's strictly an update to what we currently have, which was bought in 2015. We've had general maintenance on them, but we have not had any substantial updates to them.
Fran, I got a question. Sorry, Mike, Chair. If I could have the floor for a second. Did we go out for bids on this, or did
Well,
we?
it really doesn't qualify because it is strictly an update.
Okay.
In order to go out for bids, we would have to purchase new equipment. There's only two companies, Atkins and ES&S, that are approved by the state for the tabulators. So in order to go out for bid, the quote I got from ES&S was $450,000 at least. So
I'm sorry, what was that?
$450,000
For a new system?
For a new system, yes.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Because you have to weigh why not go with the new system, even though it's on extra $200,000. But how long do you expect this to last? I mean, what's the life expectancy?
Well, we've had these since 2015, and they've been very good. And so the upgrades,
10 years.
Unless the state were to change. But I don't see them putting that hardship on every county to buy new voting equipment.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Chair.
And let me say, I want to get back on our system where I'll start with the folks moving around. Mr. Reed, did you have anything? Question? Mr. Culberson? Mike, and then
Yes, you said that this amount is $254,000, and a new system would be double that. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what comes with this $254,000? Any warranties or guarantees come with that?
Yes, they come there's a 1 year for sure, and then they will come every other year and supply maintenance and, if we need new parts, whatever, that's all included in that, in our service fee every year.
Is this going to be a yearly fee that we have to pay out?
There is, yes, we pay that currently as well.
How much is that?
Currently we pay $28,000.
Thank you.
Mr. Reed, anything else? Mr. Culberson? Mr. Smith?
If that $28,000 that Commissioner Dove just asked you about, if you bought the new system, would that still be charged?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what that fee would be.
Okay.
All right. Are there additional questions for the clerk? If not, is there a motion?
Consider a motion to approve the proposed changes in the council. Consider a motion to accept the quote for election systems and software to upgrade election tabulating and reporting equipment amount of $254,254.00.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Mr. Reed? Discussion?
No.
Culberson?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, I was just doing discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you have anything?
I don't have
Smith? Okay.
That's fine.
Any
Aye.
discussion?
Aye.
We're going to vote now. Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Aye. I was just doing discussion there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
We do have I have applied for a security grant, which will cover some. It's a $40,000 maximum, so maybe we'll get the.
Nice.
It will cover some of this.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Brandon.
Okay. Consider a motion to approve the proposed changes to the Council on Aging Advisory Board bylaws.
Good morning,
Welcome.
Commissioners. Thank you.
Morning.
As you know, the Council on Aging has an advisory board. We actually have two that we sit on, but for this one, it's our Council on Aging Advisory Board. We have a few bylaws that we follow for that. What we're requesting today is that we move the number of members of that advisory board from 9 to 7. At other times, we've had a very large working advisory board. We find that 7 seems to be the sweet spot to ensure attendance every time, commitment, engagement by the board. So we're asking that for your approval to move that board membership from 9 to 7. And then to amend Section 7, we're required to have a public hearing every year where we invite folks from the community to come in to talk about aging issues. That has typically been in April. The state has moved up their requirement for that, and it would move that meeting from April to March.
Okay.
So those would be the two changes to the bylaws.
A question for council. Is this simple majority?
Yes.
You got to start with Vanessa.
Wait, you don't. Commissioner Reed,
Yes?
do you have any comment
do not.
or question? Commissioner Culberson?
I have no comment.
I asked you mine.
Mr. Dove, is there a motion? They give me a hard time.
You did me. Motion to approve the proposed changes to the Council on Aging Advisory Board bylaws.
Is there a second?
For a three-year term.
Well, we're going to do B, and then we'll come and do C next.
Yeah.
So is there a second on B? Okay. There's a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none. Voting. Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
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 Passes. Thanks. 5-0. And then a motion on C.
Consider a motion to reappoint Jennifer Crassel. Am I saying it?
Priscilla.
Priscilla, my apologies, to the Council on Aging Advisory Board for a 3-year term.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to appoint Jennifer to the board. Is there discussion? Seeing none. Voting. Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
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 All right. Congratulations, Jennifer.
Commissioners, can I mention one other thing?
Yes.
We are also a part of the Wyandotte Leavenworth area-wide advisory council, and I have 2 openings on that board. So if you had nominations for that board, or folks who would be interested, or you would be interested in asking to apply for that, there are also 2 openings on that board as well.
Okay. Can you give a little bit more explanation of what you do as a board member?
Yes, absolutely. So as a part of the Area Agency on Aging and their state plan, we have 6 seats. Wyandotte has 9 seats on this advisory council. We meet monthly, typically over Zoom, but occasionally in person with that Wyandotte membership as well. We talk about senior issues. There are director reports from each entity that's a part of that board, and then we talk about current things that are facing seniors in the Wyandotte and Leavenworth County areas. So it's a monthly commitment of about an hour to be on that board, and then some different things that folks could participate in if they wanted to get more involved in advocacy.
Okay. So for those who are watching on live streaming, this is a opening, and when is the deadline?
It would be really great to have it filled as soon as possible. No deadline. But if we could get those in, say, by March 1st, that would be helpful.
Okay. So that's out there. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Sure.
In your experiences, what has been the best fit for someone? Their qualification standing, what their experiences in life have been?
It really has been a variety of things. So, like someone, for example, like me, who was caring for an aging parent, had a huge stake in what was happening with aging issues. Other folks who have been involved and volunteered in the community and supporting seniors in this community, those have been also really great board members. We find that teachers also, those in the medical profession, make great board members because they've been involved in social services for their careers. So it really is someone who wants to take an interest in what's happening with seniors and help to move those concerns along.
Do you have anyone in mind that would like to take on this?
I did get an application, give an application out yesterday. I had my staff meeting, and my staff is really entrenched in the community, and they had some suggestions for people that they would like to nominate, folks who are really involved at the Council on Aging.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure thing. We also advertise that in the newspaper every month. It's in our newsletter that we give out at the Council on Aging, and it's on our scrolling board at our reception desk, so anyone who's in there has access to that information to know there's an opening.
In the past, how effective has that been?
We typically word of mouth appointments, folks who come to us and say, we think this would be a really great person. Those are the ones who have the best staying power.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. We
Sure
appreciate it, and we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get some volunteers.
Yeah. I have one more. On the one more agenda item.
I hope that's wood.
So, Commissioners, our Older Americans Act funding is something that we apply for every year. We apply for 3 sections of that Older Americans Act funding. Title 3C1 is our congregate meal funding. We're applying for $75,429. It does come with a match requirement of $8,874. We also have applied for homebound meals for fiscal year 2026 at $59,094. That comes with a match of $6,952. And then our Title 3B funds are for our Human Services Program, our social services. That's the free legal service we provide, advocacy for elder abuse, things like that, our telephoning and visiting program. We've applied for $63,658 with a match requirement of $7,489. We would request your approval for this grant so we can go ahead and submit that application.
Okay. Go ahead and we'll take a motion and then we'll discuss it.
A motion to approve and authorize the chairperson to sign the Council on Aging's Older Americans Act Title III Programs Grant for the year of 26.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, now we'll discuss any discussion. Commissioner Reed. Mr. Culberson? Smith?
I noticed, just for everyone to know, because this is a budget item that we always include, so we renew it every year, so it's not money we're taking from anything else, and we budget this when we go through the budget process.
Yes.
Correct? Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. I knew that, I just wanted to get it out.
Good point. Good point. I don't have anything. Commissioner Dub? All right, so voting, Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Donnie.
your time. Motion to consider, motion to approve a 5-year lease agreement from Can Equipment for 2 JCB articulated wheel loaders.
Warren Bill?
Mr. Knoll. Before you start, Mr. Knoll, did you find that information yet?
I have not received a confirmation email yet from the Senator's office.
We're trying to get confirmation that the $6.2 million of funding for County Road 30 was in the legislation that passed was it last night?
It passed yesterday and then was signed by the President last night.
Yep.
So we're hopeful. And once we know, we will be putting that out.
Okay.
So, Mr. Knoll.
All right. Today, for your consideration, Commissioners, is the 5-year leases that are up for the 2 articulating wheel loaders. These replacements are replacing the 2 current machines that we do have. One is at the Tonganoxie Quarry, and one is located at the county shop. The recommendation is based on the lowest price machine offered for Leavenworth County, and that was the JCB Mechanic-Equip for $334,020. We look at a multitude of factors on these leases and always try to strive to get the lowest machine possible. They were bid with 2 different options. First, we always bid the extended warranty. These come with a 3-year or 2-year warranty, depending on the type of machinery we're purchasing. I believe these were a 2-year warranty from the factory, and we extend that warranty through the life of the machine, so that has an additional cost. We also bid a full 5-year, 5,000-hour fluids and filters package. So the fluids and filters, per specifications, are being sent to the county at the correct time frame using the onboard computer systems and diagnostics that are on some of the machines. What we found in this bid process was that those bids were not competitive. And it was clear that the 2 lowest cost machines do not offer that type of service. The cost range from $6,400 for the 5-year, 5,000-hour fluids and filters from John Deere to $86,417 on the JCB. The 2 lowest cost machines, the Doosan and the JCB, I believe one was at just under $50,000 and one was at $86,000. So what we did was we effectively just cut that portion because we bid those as separate line items within the bid. The This resulted in the lowest cost machine being the JCB for the yearly leases from CanEquip. It reduced the lease cost to $55,334.72 per machine, or for both machines per year. That is a 10% increase over the previous cost that we have on the current machines, which is 10% increase over the past 5 years is not normal. As you guys are well aware, we've been seeing 100% increases in some of the machinery, with others, obviously ranging lower in that 50 to 75% cost increase over the past 5 years. But this lease package is only a 10% cost increase over the current leased machines that we have. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Other questions for Mr. Knoll, Commissioner Reed, Mr. Culverson?
Well, maybe I misunderstood. Since a couple of the costs were too high, we redid the bid.
No, we bid it as a line item bid, so we have a cost to purchase the machine, a cost for the extended warranty option, like basically like an additional item, and then an additional item, a line item cost for the 5 years fluids and filters. So we received three different prices, and what we did was we threw out the fluids and filters because with the fluids and filters, we did not accept those pricing because of the $86,000 cost when some of them were $6,400. We can do that much cheaper in-house because we will track our own machine hours. It is nice, and we have utilized it in the past through John Deere and Caterpillar. They offer those for $1,000 a year, but it is much higher than our true cost to pay $86,000 for those.
Just for knowing how I make understand, when you do something like that, you decide not to accept a bid. Do you go back out and rebid it, or do you just cross out?
Well, this was bid as a line item, so what we did was we just didn't accept that portion of the bid in this case.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
I just want to thank Commissioner Smith. Those are the couple of questions that I had, and thank you, Bill. Appreciate your work.
Well, great minds think alike.
Don't insult Willie.
What's that?
I said, don't insult Willie.
Thank you.
All right. So is there a motion?
A motion to approve the 5-year lease agreement with the CAP equipment for 2 JCB articulating wheel loaders.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there further discussion, Commissioner Reed?
No.
No further discussion and voting, Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
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 All right. Very good.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Let us know when you find out.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2026-5, a special use permit for M&K Estates LLC, Countryside Chalet. And I believe we do have someone on the phone for that. Is that correct? That is correct. Okay. So when we get to that point, we will let them say their piece. So, welcome.
Case DEB 25-124 is a request for a special use permit renewal for Countryside Chalet Event Center. This is an existing event center that is located at 12751 206th Street. It was originally approved for an event center back in 2017 under different ownership. The current owners acquired the property in 2022 and signed a transfer of ownership agreement stating that they will comply with all of the previously approved conditions as part of that resolution. They are here before you today because they are seeking to amend some of those conditions that were placed on that SUP. Specifically, they would like to increase the number of events allowed per calendar year. The current SUP allows for 40 events. They are asking to increase that number to 80. 60 would be weddings, 20 would be additional events, so for a total of 80 events per calendar year. They are also seeking to apply for an alcohol service license from the state. They are anticipating that would occur in November of this year. Currently, they are utilizing third-party vendors to provide alcohol service to events on the property, but they would like to obviously provide that to their clients in the future. They are also proposing some minor amendments, like increasing the number of part-time employees to up to 4 part-time employees, and then adding a permanent sign to the property. Staff did review this application and compared it to the 7 golden factors that we must review as part of an SUP process. That analysis has been provided for you in the staff report. Staff did recommend approval of this request with conditions as proposed in the staff report. The Planning Commission considered this at their January meeting, where they recommended to you on a vote of 7-0 approval of this SUP with those conditions. Mr. Sprigg, who is the owner of the business, is on the phone. He could not attend due to a work conflict, but if you have any questions, he is available.
Okay. Mr. Sprague, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. So I'm going to have the commissioners ask questions, and if they address one to you, I'm glad you're here to be available. Appreciate it. Commissioner Reed. No questions? Mr. Culberson?
Did we have any concerns, John, or anything when this was going through? Was there anything, because I know it's double in size, I just wondered if there's anything that come out of this that...
No, there was nothing from the public hearing that additionally was included. So
Okay.
there wasn't any public concern for it.
Okay. So I have...
Clarification, the events are increasing, but the occupancy load is not. They are not proposing to make any amendments to the building or increase the number of attendees can get at an event. It's just the number of events per calendar year.
It sounds like they're doing well. They can go up like that, which is a good thing. That's all I have, Chair.
Okay. I'll ask the owner a couple questions. What type of events are typically held there at your facility?
We're a wedding and event venue, so the majority of the events there will be weddings. The additional events that we were looking to hold would be, for example, a paint and sit, and some other events like that, potentially in some of the off-season. Over.
Thanks.
Okay. What is the difference? You're wanting to change this alcohol to receive an alcohol service license. What's for you as a businessman? What's the difference compared to how it's handled right now?
Right now it's handled through third-party vendors. There's no sale of alcohol on the premise. That's all handled by the couples that hold their weddings out there. So they contract. Normally they'll bring their own alcohol and then have certified bartenders serve that alcohol to their guests. So what we're looking to do is potentially provide some more oversight and control over the situation to be able to host liquor at the event. Or not just liquor, but alcohol.
Do you have systems in place under this stipulation, and I'm sure there's laws, but I just have to ask the question, to make sure that minors are not served alcohol on the premises?
Yeah.
Okay. Just plain old yes. Okay. Can you address, for planning, how many, do we have a number of sites that use this particular, as far as when it comes to alcohol? We're normally using a third-party vendor, but do we have some sites that are following this procedure as well?
I'm not aware of any current sites that are operating.
Sure your microphone's on. Is your mic?
It's on.
Okay.
It just, again, I'm soft-spoken, so. I'm not aware.
Soft-spoken.
I'm not aware of any sites that primarily take the alcohol sales under their own umbrella. Typically, most prefer to do that in a third-party situation.
Okay, and question for council. Does the county have any kind of legal liability in terms of changing the way this is handled at event venues?
In general or with this application?
With this application and in general.
Okay. Well, in general, if they get a permit through the state to serve alcohol, then the liability will be with them to comply with all state and county regulations pertaining to the matter. If You'll note in this application with the special use permit that they're going to provide security, and they're going to go through the state, and they're not going to hold anything until they actually get the permit from the state. They're not going to change until then. But, if the county is not going to approve this condition, then we need to articulate a reasonable reason as to why we're not. That's the only liability that I can think of.
Okay, and if you're looking at the two alternatives, there's, as far as the county's concerned, there's really no difference.
Correct.
Okay, that's all I have.
Has there been any incidents that have been reported to the planning board or to law enforcement? Anything that's happened at this venue?
No, we've had zero negative response either from law enforcement or from the public over this venue or any event that they've had to date.
Okay, so there's been no consideration of anyone that's within proximity of this establishment that has called in and said, well, there's a problem?
We've had neither any written correspondence, any by phone, or anyone at the public hearing stage that voiced any concern over additional events.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go around again. Commissioner Reed, do you have anything?
No, I just think this is great. They're looking to maybe hire more staff, and I think it's wonderful. Thank you.
The one other thing I noticed we're doubling from 40 to 80, but at what point does it trigger, like SUP grows, at what point does it trigger the need to, you can adjust it internally or administratively, but at what point does it change the character of the SUP to where it has to be redone?
Well, I think given that the occupant load is not going to change in the structure, you're not having any real impact from additional trips, even though you're adding events. I think it really doesn't change the character of the neighborhood. It doesn't dominate the character of the neighborhood. It's actually screened from everything in the general area. So to answer your question, it's when it impacts the adjoining space, when they would grow to a point that they would need a permanently zoned situation. But wedding barns, we have a lot of these in Leavenworth County. And typically, they're relatively low impact unless you have that kind of occupant load and trip load on a day-to-day basis. In reality, these additional events are going to have minimal impact.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask the owner if you have any questions to ask to the commission or any concerns about how the county is regulating these facilities, or if you've had any issues during the past few years.
At this time, I have no questions or concerns with how everything has been regulated. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for your interest in doing business in Leavenworth County, but go ahead.
Thank you for being on the phone. What's the maximum occupancy of the building now?
It's 200.
It's 200.
And he's asking to increase it to 400?
No. The occupancy will stay the same. The building can accommodate up to 200 guests. They said about average would be a 125.
Events.
Okay.
That is not changing. They're just increasing the number of events per calendar year.
So the cap on each one of those things, both traffic and occupant load in the structure, they aren't changing.
Okay.
They're just having more events per year.
Misunderstood. Thank you.
Okay. And no change in impact on the traffic for the area that you
No, and we've obviously reviewed this with other departments, including Public Works. There is no concern.
Okay, I think we've gone around twice, so if there's a motion, good. Is there a motion?
Go ahead. I don't have it here. It's one. Consider motion for the approval. Consider motion for approval of special use permit. Does comply with the golden factors and move to adopt resolution 2026-5 and conditionally approve the special use permit as outlined in case DEV 25-124 based on recommendations and conditions of the Planning Commission and finding as set forth in the staff report and is substantial sustained by the facts, testimony, and evidence presented at the public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We'll go around one more time for discussion. Commissioner Reed?
No.
Okay. Voting, Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. And hopefully he's still on the line. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the next matter. We don't have anybody on the phone for this one, do we? No. Okay, Resolution 2026-6, a special use permit for Tri-Hall Crane Rental, LLC. And staff.
Case DEV 25-137 is a request for a special use permit for a contractor's laydown yard for Tri-Hall Crane Rental. They do have an existing SUP, or they did, on this property for a contractor's laydown yard for the Tri-Hall business. The property is 24838 Loring Road. As stated, this is for a contractor's laydown yard. They store equipment for their business, which is a crane rental business. No construction or anything occurs on the site. They just store the equipment there until they have a leasee. Then they, take that material to the site. Sometimes they will deliver materials to the work sites, but when they cannot, they would store it on this property. I will note that in our staff report, it does say this is a renewal. I just wanted to make a correction. This would be for a new SUP. The previous SUPs were temporary in nature. This request is really arising from a desire to make this more permanent. Staff did review this case based off of the 7 golden factors, and to note this is a property that is zoned rural residential 2.5, so that is a residential and primarily agricultural zoning district. Based off of the information that we have and those golden factors, staff felt that it did not meet 4 of the golden factors, and those were laid out for you in that staff report, but specifically 2, 3, 4, and 7. We felt the zoning wasn't compatible because this is more of a quasi-industrial type use. Suitability for the property for which the use has been restricted. Staff did have concerns about the road network. And not necessarily the amount of traffic, but the type of traffic that this type of business generates with those heavy equipment on those sites. This is a local gravel road, and it's not built to more of a commercial or industrial road standard. We did have some concerns about it detrimentally impacting a surrounding property, and then also that it does not conform with the comprehensive plan because this area is still designated for a rural residential zoning district. Staff did recommend denial of this request based off of those factors that we considered. The Planning Commission did review this at their January meeting. They, however, recommended approval to this body with some amendments to the conditions as outlined in the staff report. So if you have any questions, the Holes are in attendance today, and they'd be happy to answer that. We can also provide more clarity as to the Planning Commission's consideration.
Okay, we're going to go around with questions, but I want to ask you one question to begin with. Take this case off and pretend this isn't the case we're dealing with. But let's say we were dealing with a new applicant that wanted to put a crane business in the middle of a 2.5 residential area. My question is, what are the requirements that you would look at for approval of that or for consideration of that? And one issue I have been contacted about is the fact that on that road, if you have a crane going down that road, you cannot meet another vehicle in several locations on Loring Road up to 2440. So how would you consider this? Take this case off, but just tell me what you would look at in a case where a contractor's yard or this kind of application was made brand new.
Well, we would certainly take a look at the local road network and how that commercial traffic went from the site to a major thoroughfare collector. Certainly, if there's a gravel road impacted there, we would ask for some sort of traffic study. We most certainly would ask for a structure assessment within the confines of that route. If you take a look at number 4 in staff recommendations, you'll see that that was a component. Little history to this: it did have some previous action from a previous board that terminated this use on this site in 2025, I believe. 2025 was the end of that particular concession from a previous BOCC action. So as I understand it, this business was in place, didn't realize it needed an SUP, applied for an SUP, was granted an SUP by a previous board. They extended that for 2 years with the termination date, with the additional criteria that it would not be renewed. Staff mentions that in the action, mentions it in the history of the report, and also references it in the staff report. So while we also don't believe it meets 4 of those golden factors, at least 50% of the golden factors, we are also bound by that previous action that terminates this particular use on this site at that date.
Okay, so back to my original question was, not looking at this SUP, but just looking at in general, you're saying if a new person was making an application, you would ask for a traffic study of the road and the ability of the road to handle this type of traffic, and I'm assuming in a legal way where two vehicles could meet.
Well, typically that request is going to come from Public Works, but as part of our review process, logically a traffic study would be required.
Okay, and then what was this other thing you said?
A structure analysis?
Structure analysis.
Yeah, that's part of current policy. So if you have existing structures out there, being drainage structures, bridges, anything, any component within that public right-of-way, you have to assess its structural ability to withstand the loads created by a particular use.
So if we were starting from scratch and this was a new application, that's what you would request?
Yes, and they actually have completed that structural review in the previous action. So it would have to be updated to the current timeline. But yes, that's been required in the past.
Okay, I'm going to start with Mr. Reed. Questions?
No.
Questions? No questions?
No.
Mr. Culberson? Mr. Smith?
As I recall, refresh my memory, did we not vote on this a couple of years ago, and they were going to move, and the indication was they were going to leave that area, and we gave them 2 years to do so, not that everybody wanted to, and then by 2 years, it'd be at another location. Mark, am I remembering that correct?
And Commissioners, I'll weigh in on this because I think a lot of the staff wasn't here when this originally started, and John did a good job of explaining that. I think that the applicant was operating there for like I'm not going to say 6, 7, but I did. 6 or 7 years they were operating there before they realized they needed an SUP. They came into the board at that time, and the board said, we're going to give you 3 years to find a new location. But it's only for 3 years. And that's what would be referred to as a temporary SUP. So they gave them 3 years to try to find a new location to move this business because it wasn't a good fit. The 4 golden factors that Amy mentioned are why. So the 3 years was up. They came back in and said, look, we haven't had a chance. I think probably COVID had something to do with that. So the vote you're referring to was that vote. The board at that time then voted, say, okay, well, we'll give you until the end of 2025 to find a location, but that's it. We're not going to renew it again. That's it. You need to find a new location. That has since expired, and now they're asking for a new SUP to allow them to continue business on a permanent basis there.
So I'm recalling it a little different. I believe that original motion, the original resolution said 3 years with an opportunity to come and request an additional 2 years.
They did, yeah.
Okay, that was part of the original.
It was 3 years, and then they extended it again, and now that's
which we did
expired.
extend. So it's been a total of 5 years of extension. So
I believe
again, questions, Commissioner Reed, Mr. Culberson.
I was just going to add, all those conversations were based on, and they agreed to move in the end. We were just giving them temporary time to get moved. So that's what all those conversations were about.
And if it would, if this were to stay at this location, they would have to go through all of the process that anybody would have to go through as far as the road. But I think the commission was pretty decisive that you had 5 years. And the reason, I think, was because of COVID that we were giving the additional time.
Could I ask, Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
With the owners here, would they be able to come up and speak on, in kind of a rebuttal? Can we offer an opportunity?
Give the opportunity.
Yeah, sure. Come on up.
Morning.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Yes, we are, wanting to stay there for a little while longer because we haven't found an adequate place. We have been looking.
Get a little closer to the mic, please, because I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yes, we have been looking for other places to move to. We're just, haven't found anything that's, adequate right now. So that's kind of the reason why we're kind of wanting to stay, because you're looking at, for us to find another facility, just basically fences and maybe a small building, you're looking between $1 and $1.5 million. Well, that's $10,000 to $12,000 a month payment for a business that has between 3 and 5 employees. So, yes, our equipment's large, and I agree, and we don't have any problems running down the roads, passing anybody. As far as I know, there's never been any complaints filed against us. All our neighbors, pretty much down the gravel road, always come down, and we help them. I mean, they get their tractor stuck. We go down there and get them out. I mean, they come down and, they need something fixed or worked on. They know we know how to do it. So they come down, we work on it. We sat around and, bullshit. And like during even the snow removal, we went down to a lot of the places we weren't doing nothing and removed the snow off a lot of these people's driveways. Nice. Just, for something to do and being good neighbors with it. But that's kind of one of the reasons why we've looked in Eudora for a place. We've looked in 4 other locations in Lawrence, and we've looked at one place in Topeka. And it's just one of those things. It's just a cost thing. We haven't gotten any bigger. We haven't increased the number of employees. During the COVID, during a lot of this stuff, bids became very tight. There's not a whole lot of profit margins. A lot of our customers, I won't say a lot, but several of our customers either moved away or went out of business. So, we had to create a new clientele. That takes time. Like I said, we're not really doing much of an impact or damage to the roads. We've got 2 machines that are wider than just an 8-foot, an 8'6" truck that would normally run down that road. But with the wineries, I've got 2 wineries right beside me with, a massive amount of cars running up and down that road all the time. And we're still not having an issue with passing anybody or getting around. My guys drive slow. None of the neighbors have ever complained about us driving fast or tearing up their yards or, anything of the nature. As far as, I don't think there's anything been here. And I've told several of my neighbors, like, if you catch one of my guys or you catch a customer of mine driving down through here, let me know. And I'll tell them, and I tell everybody that comes out there, I'm like, when you come down these gravel roads, I was like, you go slow. I was like, don't stir up a bunch of dust. I like my neighbors. And I've really never had any complaints with them.
So I was on the phone with your neighbor this morning. And she indicated to me that when your cranes come out and turn right, that it overlays across her property. It gets into the easement across the property when you turn on Loring Road. And her indication was that a lot of the neighbors felt like, because the wording of the last SUP was that was the final opportunity, that a lot of the neighbors basically felt like the commission was going to follow its own regulations on this. But her indication was that she had her daughter turned and met one of your cranes and couldn't even fit down the road. Are you saying that you can fit 2 vehicles down the road at all locations all the way to Loring, to 440 highway?
The only place we'll probably stay and we'll wait is either coming up that hill, just because, there's a culvert down at the bottom. We like to be more in the middle of the road. We don't have to be with most of the stuff, but with the bigger cranes, we will try to take that little bitty section down through there. And as far as I know, our tires have never, left the gravel road. We've extended our driveway and made it wider through county rules and regulations so that we don't go into a ditch or we don't have an issue with that.
But we've never done a road study on that location. Like if you were a brand new applicant, planning and zoning stated, you would have had to have a full road study, and many times it becomes the applicant's responsibility to make the changes to the road that are necessary. But you never had to do that because we never went through an initial process at the beginning.
That part I don't know. I know we paid an engineer to go look at all the culverts and inspect them. And you have a cell tower on there, and they're bringing equipment down that road that makes my stuff look little. You've got, like I said, I seen for 3 weeks they had equipment down there that I'd love to own. I'll probably never be able to afford to own. But you talk about massive, it's massive. And that stuff's going to continue to come down that road. You know, if they're going to repair that facility or maintain that facility, and that's on the property that my complaint lady that's complaining about it, which I know she's come to the county a lot and complained about a lot of different things.
No, in the past, it hasn't just been one person. It's been more than one person. I believe a lot of the neighbors believe that because of the wording, and could you read the wording of the last SUP, how that was adopted and what the wording stated? And this is what the neighbors believed.
I don't have it exactly in front of me, but it's generally the SUP shall be compliant with BOC Resolution 2020-25, except for Condition 1 and limited to a period of 2 years and is non-renewable is essentially how it was
So
worded.
when we adopted it, it was non-renewable. Did you understand that?
Well, I was in a position I have to take whatever you guys offered, and I'm in the position now I have to take whatever you guys offer. I mean, I would have loved to have had a longer, term, but I mean, I'm a small business. I'm not everybody seems to think that I'm a huge business. I'm not. I'm a small mom and pop business. My daughter runs my office. My mom over there also runs the office. My son and I, pretty much take care and maintain everything, which my son lives down the street from there. And I just usually have a couple other employees. So I don't we're not a large company like everybody seems to think we are.
Would you want us to treat your business like any other business in the county?
Well, I know that the wineries, have got to build buildings and not, met all the special requirements and have fought for, since I've been out there. They've caused you guys way more trouble than I've caused you.
But philosophically, you would want everybody in the county to be treated equally when we're looking at businesses, zoning.
Yes,
you wouldn't want us to treat one person differently than another.
No, not in general. I mean, there's a lot of businesses out in the county, and I just do a different type of work. So yes, I mean, there's a lot of them out there that I feel like that they're doing, mostly construction work. I'm just doing construction differently. And as far as like I said, the damage to the roads and stuff like that, our stuff's designed to go off-road. It's designed to be in the dirt. And if you can take something with tires like a tractor and drive it out in the dirt, it's not going to hurt and improve the surface.
But do you understand that the zoning in that area is residential zoning?
Mm-hmm. I mean, agriculture
the residential zoning is not designed for an industrial use.
I don't feel like we are truly considered an industrial because we're not, I'm not having trucks in and out there every day. I'm not Miles Excavating that, has 100 trucks coming in there every day who's hauling oversized loads out there every day. Huh?
How many trucks, Chairman, how many trucks do you have?
We have 4 trucks, but not all the trucks run out every day, on semis.
How many vehicles do you have that are using the county roads?
I would say there's about 15, but like I said, when we go out, we don't take them all out. I mean, usually on a days, like if one of our other bigger trains go out, you have one machine go out and 2 trucks, and they might be out for a week, and then they'll come back. Some of our smaller trucks will go out and come back, but they're a lot smaller trucks. But their bigger stuff usually goes out and stays out for, a couple days here, a couple days there. But as far as we don't take all 15 of them out. I don't have enough employees to take all 15 of them out.
When does the expiration? When does the SUP end?
It's actually already passed.
It's passed.
It completed in December of 25.
In December, and this is February. And this is February, and it ended in December, and you decided to come to us now.
That's when we thought we had to apply. We've been trying to be up forward with everything, trying to come to the meetings and trying to do our paperwork correctly. I mean, this is something that we don't do on an everyday basis. I mean, if you ask me about cranes and everything and inspections and stuff like that, I could spit out dates and times and specs and everything else, but this is new for us coming, in front of the county commissioners. It's not something that we do all the time. I go to meetings for, how to build a building or, how to move equipment.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Go ahead.
I would recommend, well, since this has gone past the date that we give them 30 days to get it done, but after that, there's no consideration going forward in lieu of what the Planning Commission has come to us with, and taking into account the visibility of these vehicles and what could happen, and not to wait till something does happen in order to make things safer for the individuals in Leavenworth County. That is 30 days, I think, is more than enough time to get this done, and you being the owner of an operation, knowing the actual cost, that this should have been looked into a little earlier.
We have. I mean, I've been looking. I mean, it's just hard when you take 3 employees outside of family and got to spend, $1 million. It's $10,000 a month.
Excuse me just a minute. I need to talk to council. Can you modify that, help with that motion?
Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what the motion was yet. I don't think Commissioner Dove was able to finish
Right.
it, what the action that he was seeking, but I would just advise the commission, state statute's very clear on what you can do. You can approve with a majority vote. You can approve with additional conditions with 4 votes. You can remand it back to the Planning Commission and give them instruction on what you would like them to look at. With
So
3,
what I was understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, I was understanding that he was saying we want to enforce the requirement, but we want to give them 30 days to have an opportunity to get their cranes out.
Yes.
Okay, let me just continue. If you wish to deny the application, then you need to state the basis of the denial based on the golden factors that we have. And I would just want to note so that the record is clear, I don't recall the exact date, but the Holes did initiate the application process. It wasn't in December when they initiated it. I don't know, planning.
Looks like November.
They did initiate the application process before the expiration of the SU.
Okay. So would this second, what's the motion?
Sorry, could I weigh in, Mr. Chair?
Just a second, I want to talk to Commissioner Dover just a second. Does the second bullet meet what you're looking at?
What do you?
This one right here.
Right here? Yes.
So do you want to make that? You want to make that motion?
Yes. Consider motion that the proposed special use permit does not comply with golden factors of this factor, and move to deny resolution to deny the special use permit as outlined in case DEV as 24-137.
So what factors are you listing?
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Commissioners, we need to articulate the golden factors as part of that motion.
Okay, so that probably should have been included in this.
But John has those factors correct.
Can you read into the record the articulation that you made at the Planning Commission?
That would staff's recommendation. Yes, go ahead.
Factors, yeah.
Go ahead and read these 4.
Staff recommended denial based off of the fact that we felt factor number 2, 3, 4, and 7 were not met. And number 2, due to the fact that we consider this more of an industrial type use and it does not match the zoning and uses of nearby property. Number 3, suitability of the property for the uses to which has been restricted. We feel that the property in connection with the type of use is not compatible, and that furthermore that the proposed use is restricted by previous BOCC action to no further years of this use being on the property. Number 4, we felt that there were specific areas where it could detrimentally impact the nearby property, such as the long-term use due to the zoning district, the traffic considerations, due to the type of equipment that is used for this business, outdoor storage, which is normally found in industrial area.
Are you following along in your packet?
Yeah, we're incorporating that into the
Okay.
motion.
Just want to make sure.
So those would be incorporated into your motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In lieu of seeing exactly what these factors are, I withdraw my motion.
Thank you. Can I speak now?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have any neighbors here today that have brought complaint against you that are present?
No, I don't see any out here, no.
So I push back on the hearsay comments that have been made in this meeting. This is a consistent problem that we have in Leavenworth County. We have people doing business, contributing to society, choosing to do business here, yet this commission consistently pushes back. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I've said it. I'm going to say it again. We need to be open for business in Leavenworth County. I would like to put a motion forward that the proposed special use permit complies with the golden factor and move to adopt Resolution 266 and conditionally approve the special use permit as outlined in case DEV 25137 based on the recommendation and conditions of the Planning Commission, the findings set forth in the staff report, and as substantiated by the facts, testimony, and evidence presented at the public hearing. Thank you.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
And I've lived around here my entire life.
So there,
I want
sir,
Excuse me.
we're considering this.
Sorry.
So there is no second. The motion dies for lack of a second. So, commissioners,
No more questions.
is there a motion?
Consider the motion that proposed special use permit does not comply with golden factors, and move to deny the resolution 2026-6 and deny the special request use permit as outlined in case DEV 25137.
So, and are you also incorporating the comments from the Planning Commission?
Absolutely, yes.
All right. So there is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion. I will say that my discussion of this would be the fact that we are wide open for business, but we treat everybody in Leavenworth County equally and fairly. We do not treat one business differently than another business. If it's a residential or rural area and it's zoned as such, the neighbors and the folks that move into those areas have an expectation of what the neighborhood will be like. We do not make those exceptions lightly. We've given the applicant years to comply, and it is time for us to make a decision. Go ahead.
Just one thing, we've got so many rules, we've got so many things here that it doesn't comply with. I really have a tough time not letting someone do with their property what they want to do, but we've got to live by rules and ordinances and things, and if we decide to change it, that's something else. But looking at these right here, there's just too many. And I was on the council back then, the commission back then, and I remember the discussion on that 2 year. And I remember, in fact, I think I was even one of the person who made sure that we understood that it was 2 years. And so even though it's not exactly how I would like to see this come out, I can't support a special use permit.
So, any further discussion? Commissioner
No.
Reed. So, then voting, Commissioner Reed.
No.
Aye.
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 All right.
So could I ask a question? What would be my appeals process? What do I need to do for that?
I'll have the attorney address that.
I'll send you a communication outlining the appeals process for you.
Is there a timeline in which we have to meet, or is it something I need to do today? before I
30
leave?
days. You have
Huh?
30 days.
Okay.
And I'll touch base with you today on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Consider a motion to appoint, this is the appoint a member of the Leavenworth County Commission to the Kansas City Area Transit Authority. I'm currently serving, but the term I filled in for the last year of a old term, and has to be reappointed.
How long is this term? What
4
is it?
years.
4 years.
You're going bye-bye, huh?
I'd like to continue serving until I leave the commission.
Well, what we've done in the past
Right.
is we've allowed that. I've always believed that once you're off the commissioners and somebody else on the commission, I won't be here either, needs to take that place. I have no problem with Mike doing this last year, but I need to make it clear that my opinion is that when y'all get with your new bodies, something like that, somebody else should probably finish the 3 years and not just make it a 1.
Yeah.
Just,
And
that's what I'm saying.
I'm very open to that. We did at one, Nancy Bowder did serve as an outside, and if you would desire to have an outside, that's fine, but it's really good to have a commissioner on there.
I've always felt that.
So you have to make a motion.
Make a motion to appoint Chairperson Stephen to the Kansas City Area Transit Authority Board for a 1-year term.
It has to be.
Does it have to say 4?
It has to be
away?
4 because the term is 4.
Okay.
But as you know, it can be changed, amended.
As you did that, because we've done it. Okay, well, for a 4-year term.
Second.
All right, discussion. Voting, Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Okay, presentations and discussion items.
Commissioners, I would like to ask for an executive session today, if possible. If you give me 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, do we have a, where you get it? Yes, you do.
Jeff loves to do these.
Jeff, you can do it.
Jeff loves
Dang it.
How many minutes did you say? 20 minutes?
20 minutes.
Okay.
Do we have someone's in the back raising their hand?
Were you raising your hand or stretching?
Is this where we get to talk?
No, not quite. We're getting there.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board recess for a closed executive meeting to consult with our attorneys and discuss confidential matters related to contract negotiations and legal interests of the county, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship and permitted under Kansas Open Meetings Act, and that board resume open meetings at 10:30, 20 minutes, right? At 10:30 a.m. in the meeting room of the board. President of the executive meeting will be Commissioners Mike Smith, Jeff Culberson, Vanessa Reed, Willie Dove, Mike Stephen, County Administrator Mark Lothry, and County Councilor Misty Brown.
Second. All right. There's a motion and a second. The voting, Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
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 You're welcome. Just
Flat out. Let the record show the board has returned to regular session at 10:30 a.m. No action was taken and no decisions were made. The subject was limited to the legal interests of the county.
All right. We're back in presentations and discussion items. Commissioner Reed.
No.
Oh, yeah. No.
I do have one thing. If I can, I'm going to try to arrange to be there today in Topeka. They're having a hearing on the Charlie Kirk bill, and that would make sure that we have academic freedom in our universities. And it's a good piece of legislation.
I like that.
And a gentleman that we met from District 5 is going to be testifying, offering his testimony. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, before we do that, I see that a member of the Sheriff's Department is here. Is there something that you wanted to include in our meeting today?
He's next.
He's going to be in the Animal Control.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn, Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
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 All right, we're adjourned.